since 1965. Godolkin is a safe space for you to thrive.
Spoilers for Gen V and for The Boys. Please go watch them, as I'm fairly positive on both. Character, stakes, and story. When I sat down to watch Gen V, I was skeptical. Okay, here we go, a spin-off for some money for Amazon. What's the matter? Rings of Power not keeping the lights on? And what I was treated to was actually awesome. Well-rounded characters, meaning they actually have flaws, and we can relate to them. Something to note when comparing to most modern superhero movies. Oh, Captain, my Captain.
What the?
These people are all effed up and having to deal with their powers, with the political and educational powers at B, and trying to balance that all out at their still young adult age.
Freshman class is savage this year.
Having a mixture of The Boys' portrayal of superheroes as mostly asshats, with a sprinkle of Xavier's School and a college teen flick, this could actually be pretty interesting. You meet Marie Moreau, who straight off rip gets into a terrible situation of not only accidentally killing her parents, but then having to have her sister walk in and then to blame it on her for the rest of her life. She is in a foster home type place where she gets recruited into the Godolkin University. Oh, I guess that's how you say it. It's kind of like Xavier's School for the Gifted, but instead of teaching these superpowered individuals to control their power for the greater good, this school basically sells out their students to the Vought company for either entertainment or crime fighting, or both in that regard. There's a lot of satire with The Boys usually, and the golden boy, quote unquote, of the show is usually the worst of them all. That's what we're meant to be expecting with characters such as Homelander, The Deep, and others. So it was really cool to see that the golden boy, named actually Golden Boy, to turn out to be an okay dude. By the standards of the universe at least, Marie gets involved with the cool kids. And not only that, but the number 1 and 2 ranked kids. They get into a drunken situation where an innocent bystander has her throat slit by one of them, Andre. They all bail except for Marie, who wants to help the person and actually saves her life. This is all caught on camera, of course, and before she knows it, she is hailed as a hero in all the social media spaces. But she is also kicked out of the school by the main dude of it. With her absolutely defeated, she goes back to the dude to confront him. And Golden Boy is straight up murking this man. What the? She tries to bargain her way out of him hurting her, but he goes after her anyways. Jordan, the number 2 kid, tries to stop him and sort of slows him down until he gets outside and talks to his best friend, Andre, who's able to talk him out of his blind rage. And with that, he goes into the sky and completely ends himself. Now that is a great first episode. Every single one of these characters is explored and is 3-dimensional. Yes, even the villains. Marie's whole goal is to prove to herself and her sister that she is not a monster, even with a terrifying power like bloodbending is, and also extremely powerful, but we'll talk about that later. Jordan is a very good allegory for someone who doesn't fit into the norms, unsure about their appearance or body, who is both male and female. What does the character go through with their parents when the father doesn't want to do with an entire one side of who this person is? Their powers are pretty cool too, and are different depending on what body type they are in at that very moment. Both are strong, but the female has invisible woman-like fields, and the male is extra massive, lots of mass, and can hold his ground in a fight. Andre is basically Magneto, and I believe just like his father, same powers. He is best friends with the Golden Boy, but holds a lot of dark secrets. Almost everyone does, really, on this show, but he is dealing with the fact of living up to his semi-famous father and best friend to Golden Boy. When something is afoot, he goes to investigate it, and he is kind of a hothead in most regards. Emma Myers' power is basically that she is Ant-Man/Giant Man, but with a brilliant allegory on eating disorders. She vomits, she gets small. She eats, and she gets larger. This is even more present when you meet her mother, who is one of those moms, who mentions her daughter's weight and is constantly on her. And like most parents that fed their children Compound V, she is trying desperately to profit off her daughter. She has to deal with basically being a joke at all times, even running a self-degradation YouTube channel and wanting to be taken serious by someone, and not fetishized like we see early on in the show.
I'll see you in an hour.
Got it. Get it. Got it. Good.
Kate Dunlap is probably my least favorite character, but is a huge part of the show and the story. She is a mix between Jean Grey and Rogue. She has to touch you, but then she can influence you to do whatever she wants. But then it is revealed that her power is actually being nerfed the whole time, and she was in on the conspiracy the whole time. And in a great way to show her power, we are left at the end of an episode with a cut to black, and then the next episode, nobody remembers the last couple days, and they wake up at a party. This is a great way to tell their story because the audience is in the same exact spot that they all are. And when they are revealed to have Kate as the culprit, it feels earned. Also, the fake out with the dude whose power is to literally date grape somebody was, again, a great setup in our preconceived notions of these characters in the boys universe.
Forget.
We then have Sam, secret brother to Golden Boy, who the school has been keeping prisoner, running experiments and doing other things, I guess. He definitely has a few screws loosed, seeing puppets talk to him, but is the most powerful out of all of the bunch. And when the mental illness teams up with that power, you have a dangerous individual. Everything about the series worked for me, except for the relationships between characters. Maybe it will get better over time, but I wasn't feeling the chemistry between the couples or the characters, really. Sam and Emma, Andre and Kate, and Marie and Jordan. The Sam and Emma relationship did feel kind of weird because he's basically a child, but good in the sack? That's not a sentence I ever wanted to say. But the way that Emma treats him is basically of that of a child. Andre and Kate just seems like they sneak around and screw as a trauma bond, and I wasn't really feeling that at all. Then Marie and Jordan was the most interesting because the complexity of who Jordan is and how Marie can actually read them, even mentioning at one point that they change into their male form when they want to be taken seriously. You get a great episode with the politician lady, who we now know is a secret super, and who was popping everyone's heads in the last season. She talks to Marie, and it is revealed that she too is a bloodbender, showing everyone how truly powerful they both are. The dean, who has been running the experiments this whole time to study the students, has an ulterior motive as well, and it fits directly into the overall boys universe. Her husband and child were on the plane that Homelander let die in season 1. That's a great callback to see ramifications for that action ripple throughout the universe. And by being a higher level Vought person, she can figure out the truth behind it. Her overall goal is to create a virus that kills all soups. She then has it with the help of this doctor dude who was running all the experiments in the woods. But then her past comes to haunt her. She has been using Kate this whole time, and Kate can't take it anymore. She forces her to reveal the truth to everyone, then commands her to end herself, and Marie is not allowed to help her. Kate's power is unleashed, and she releases the experimented on students, who then run a rampage on the entire school. Marie and the crew try to help, but are overwhelmed by the amount and by the powers of these released individuals. That's when Marie discovers the extremity of her power, using all of the dead bodies to fashion blades to take out some attacker who is about to hop onto a helicopter and to explode Kate's arm. Oh my God! Marie truly is a force to be reckoned with. I forgot to mention that this very same day, the CEO of Vought is at the campus trying to pick the next member to bring up from the school. She is in danger and calls for the help of Homelander, who then shows up. I can just say his presence is powerful, and people say he's a little bit of a hypocrite for what he says to Marie, and I get that since he's been killing his own kind the entire series. But I think it's just his public persona that he's putting on in front of these kids. He blasts Marie, and then we fade to white. Homelander and the Vought lady have spun the attack, calling Marie and her friends the culprits and Sam and Kate the saviors, framing for what could be next for the upcoming season. Marie and her friends are then in a white room with no outside world, possibly beneath the tower where we saw Starlight be held once, and they are stuck. We then see Billy Butcher finding the woods, so it's very possible that he knows about the virus now. End of season. Again, all of this had great character moments, awesome new characters to the universe, story beats, mystery, and the stakes are high. There are a lot of stakes in this show, kind of like Game of Thrones and Walking Dead. Anyone is up for grabs when it comes to night time for good. This is a great way to lead into the next season of The Boys, and I'm very glad I gave the show a chance. With all the terrible nerd comic content coming from these different companies, it is nice to have a show that is up to par in its caliber. This is definitely something Marvel needs to take a look into, not only with the maturity of the themes, the violence, the gore, sex, and other things, although that could be cool if Daredevil was like that, please be good, but more so the character work. None of these characters are perfect. The characters in the books of Marvel aren't perfect either. That is why these characters have always resonated with a bunch of people. I don't know where I heard this once, But I heard that DC's heroes are gods trying to be humans, and Marvel's heroes are humans becoming gods. There's a lot to say about that. Normal people getting powers and being called to do extraordinary things. That is something that Marvel needs to find again. Or else, no one will be there for them anymore, and maybe Marvel will go up for auction again. It can't get any worse. Am I right?